If you're flying for the first time on an airplane, you're gonna have to go to the airport. Now, it doesn't have to be a stressful, chaotic time if you plan accordingly. So let me show you how to get to your airplane in one piece after this. Hey, I'm Marauding Megs, and it's great to see you. Okay, so you got your bags packed, you have your passport, your ID, your plane documents, and you're ready to take to the skies. But the first thing you need to do is arrive at the airport early. I cannot stress this enough. Half the battle is won if you arrive at the airport early. And I'm recommending you arrive about 2 to 3 hours before your plane's departure time, just because you don't know what traffic's going to be like to get to the airport itself. You don't know if the ticket counter is going to have a lineup or if customs is going to have its own lineup. So it can be very stressful when you're trying to get through all these points to get to your airplane and you're running against the clock because you didn't arrive early, okay? So you can either have someone drop you off at the airport or you can find your own way there. But it is so important just to arrive early so you are not stressed out and you don't have any anxiety, okay? Just arrive early. So personally, I like to drive myself to the airport and park my car in a park and fly. There's a lot of companies that provide that service. So what happens is I will drop off my car in a secure lot and then the company will shuttle me to the airport that's nearby. And so I don't have to worry about my car. I just want to have a shout out to US Park Detroit. I love this company so much. They can get me there quickly and safely to the airport and I don't have to worry about my car because it'll be safe and it'll be there when I get back. Make sure you have all your luggage and your important documents. And when I talk about documents, I mean your passport and your plane documents, okay? You don't want to arrive at the airport and realize you have forgotten your suitcase. Because that can happen, because it happened to me quite recently actually. So I went to the US Park Detroit, I got out of my car and I got onto the shuttle, and when we got to the airport drop-off point, I realized I'd forgotten my suitcase. And my heart went into my stomach and I felt like my veins were like, there was ice in my veins because I was like, oh my God, I've forgotten an important piece of like my luggage. It had all my clothes and stuff, like I couldn't travel without it basically. So I didn't panic, I took a breath because I had arrived 2 to 3 hours earlier than my departure flight time, so I had time. I went and talked to my amazing shuttle driver and explained the situation, and she said not a problem. So after she dropped off the other passengers at the airport, she drove me back to my car. I went and picked out my suitcase and triple checked to see if I have forgotten anything else. And then she drove me out to the airport again. So it was not a problem because I arrived early, and you do this because stuff can happen. You just don't know when it is gonna happen, if it does, but you just want to make sure you have time. Once you get to the airport itself, you gotta look for your airline ticket counter area. So there's a huge area with different airlines have their own counters. So you just need to make your way there and find your airline. I personally went with Spirit this time round, so I was looking for the Spirit ticket counter. Okay, so this time round I have checked baggage that I needed to check in. And so I needed to check the weight of my one suitcase and print out my my boarding ticket, which is your plane ticket, and also my baggage ticket sticker thing. So not all airlines make you do this. Most of them, it depends on the price because Spirit is more of a no-frills airline, so you got to pay extra for everything. And they save money by making you do things on your own, and that's fine with me. That's how I roll because I'm a budget traveler. But if you are okay with paying more for airline tickets, then a lot of them don't require you to do this. But just for your own knowledge, I'm just including this here. Okay, so here's a tip. Make sure you're traveling with a backpack. Even if you only want to travel with your purse, like if you don't need a backpack, just bring one, because you always throw your purse into your backpack. And if you have a checked-in suitcase that you want to check in, and it is overweight, to avoid the ridiculously priced fines for having an overweight luggage or suitcase, you can just take out some items out of that suitcase, put them in your backpack, and then you save money that way. As long as what you're putting in your backpack doesn't have any restrictions as you go through customs, you should be fine. So, hot tip, that's what I do. I've done that so many times because I'm guessing how heavy my suitcase is. You can buy a device that will tell you exactly how heavy your suitcase is, or you can cheap out like I do and use a bathroom scale and hope for the best. Okay, so once you've gotten your boarding passes, or just a pass, depending if you have a connecting flight, okay, there might be 2 or 3, make sure you have all those passes, make sure you have your luggage and it's not overweight, and your baggage tag, and roll yourself to the checked-in airline baggage counter. When you get to the front of the line and actually drop off your checked luggage, present your passport and your boarding pass, and they just verify you are who you are, and then they will send you on your way to customs. Another tip, before you even get into the customs line, make sure that if you have any water bottles, or if you're drinking pop or any kind of drink, make sure you have consumed it all before going through customs, because they will make you get rid of your water bottle, even if it's just water, or you can try and chug it back. I don't recommend it. You can get sick by chugging too much water. So what I do is, once I've dropped off all my checked luggage, I will go and dump my water in the sink or even into a garbage nearby. I don't like to do that, but if there's no bathroom nearby, I'm gonna dump it, because I'm not getting rid of my water bottle. So you make sure it's empty, you put the lid back on, and you just proceed to customs and just wait in line. Hopefully it's not that long, but just wait in line, make sure you have your passport and your airline boarding pass, okay? And just wait in line until customs tells you otherwise. So once you get to the front of the customs line, you meet with customs agents. I like to call them gatekeepers, because they will double check your passport and your airline ticket, your boarding pass, and you just wait till they verify you and just follow their instructions. Okay, so once you get past the gatekeepers, you're gonna have to put your stuff through a huge scanner. So you're gonna get in line, because usually there's a line with a bunch of stainless steel tables, and you grab some trays depending on how much you have with you. So you need one, if you have electronics like laptop, or usually laptops like that, or iPads, they need their own little tray. I have a backpack and a purse, and I will put that also in their own trays, and anything that's in my pocket. Sometimes the airlines will require you, depending on the airport actually, the airport will ask you to take your shoes off when you go through. They're gonna ask you to put your shoes also on the conveyor belt. That is the scanner.
Shoes are coming off, shoes go right on the belt, no shoes in the bin. No cash in your pocket. Anybody has cash, I'll hold it for you. Nope, nothing in the hand. Keep sliding down, guys. No camping on the end without a permit. Jackets and sweaters are coming off.
Do laptops have to come out?
Yes.
Yes.
Any electronic phone.
Then you go walk through a metal detector, and then you also go through sometimes a different kind of scanner where you're standing up with your hands up like this, and your legs are hip width apart. And you just stand there until they say they're ready. And then you leave that part and you wait for the custom agent to say, okay, you can leave. And then you gather your own stuff from the scanner part, their own personal scan for items. Now sometimes they'll ask you to stay back because they want to check something. Once upon a time, I had a huge bag of like mixed nuts. and also a huge bag of just American change. And they pulled me to the side to check out what it was, and I'm like, it's just change. I have a lot of American quarters and pennies and such. So just stay calm when they ask you to step aside and wait for them until they're finished, because they just want to make sure that they are getting everything that they need to find, and hopefully nothing bad has been found in your luggage. But they're doing this because they're doing it for your safety. So just be patient and polite. Congratulations, you got through customs. Now you have to find your gate number. You can find your gate number either on your boarding pass, or as soon as you walk out of customs, there's usually a big bulletin board that has the flight schedules of the cities and the flight numbers and where they're going and what time they leave at. So just check out the departure board and find your flight number and just find out, and they will have the corresponding gate number there. So once you find that information, you're gonna find a map to see where your gate is, because there's a separate board for departures of flights, and then there's a map of the airport itself, because there's also restaurants and shops that you can go to, because depending on how long your flight is, like the time between when you get through customs to when your flight actually takes off, you might have a lot of downtime. So there's stuff to do at the airport. All right, so you found your gate number and you know where it is in the airport. But first, if you were traveling with a water bottle, you're gonna find the nearest bathroom or water fountain area and fill it back up, because just so I don't like to pay for drinks on flights. I think especially water should be free, and it doesn't need to be the special bottled water stuff. Like, I'll drink from the tap. So if you're like me and thrifty and you just want to have your water bottle filled, you just go to the water bottle fountain area, fill it back up, and you are good to go for your flight. Now, depending on your airport, there might not be a water bottle fountain, and I would not recommend filling the water bottle in the bathroom faucets, because you never know where that water has come from, if it's like drinkable. So just be safe. Sometimes you're gonna have to drop some cash and buy some water. I would recommend going to the airport stores versus purchasing on an airline. Okay, so just find your gate number. And then get in line. If it's time to board the plane, the airline will let you know over the loudspeaker when you should be lining up to board the plane. Make sure while you're lined up that you have your passport out and your boarding pass, so you can give it to the airline steward, who's going to be at the door, the entranceway to the airplane. So yeah, just give it to her. She'll scan it, and then you just keep going. At this point, you still need to have your boarding pass, because usually you need your boarding pass to tell you which seat you're sitting in the airplane. So you are either walking on an airwalk that's connected to the plane itself, or depending where you are, you might be walking on the tarmac and up some stairs. So either way, you have to have your boarding pass to tell you where you're going to be seated. If you don't know where your seat is on the boarding pass, you can give it to a stewardess or steward on the airplane. They will help you get to your seat and put your stuff either in the overhead compartment of the airplane or underneath the seat in front of you. Get comfortable and enjoy the ride. And that's it, you made it to your airplane. I hope this video has given you a better idea of what to expect and how to get to your airplane. If you think I've missed something important or you have an amazing tip of your own, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember to try something new, all right? I'll see you in the next one. Bye!